Yeah, y'all. Young cat coming straight out of Flint. It's I've been sent. I just gotta give it to you. Chuck. What up, Chuck? Good to see you in the building. Yeah. What up, Donna? What up, Sunshine? Sunshine. Man, do I have something explosive for you today, man. Chuck, it's gonna be real explosive today. It's gonna be real explosive today, man. What up, everybody on YouTube? It's gonna be real explosive today. Y'all don't want to miss today. I'm going to play you something that that you guys need to really hold on to. I'm just gonna put it out there real simple. You know, this is gonna be crazy. In hindsight, after being involved in it. What up, Lady Killer? Kiki? I want to say Lady Killer. What up, Lady Kiki? Yeah, man, I want y'all to really listen to what I'm about to play, and then I'm gonna go back and we're gonna break it down. We're gonna break down this whole thing, man. It is just crazy. It is crazy. I haven't even heard any Chuck P. James yet. I didn't know there was some Chuck P. James. I had no idea. We're live with multicasting right now, man. This is another episode of Bite to Eat, and this is going to be hard to swallow. I'm about to drop some on y'all, man. It's going to be so crazy. Listen, share the room up right now. If you're new here, follow, turn on notifications, but share this room up right now. Hit the like button like you lost your mind. I'm about to drop something on y'all, man. There were two things that were really heavy today to talk about. One of them, we talked about last week. We got into the Kanye West situation, but this is totally different. Check it out. It is October 25th, Tuesday, October 25th. It is 10:08 a.m. It is 58 degrees here in Atlanta, Georgia, with a high of 74 degrees. I mean, it's going to be toasty today. Y'all have to share this room up. I'm finna drop some on y'all. I'm going to play a little bit of it right now. For those of you that are here, I'm going to play a little bit of this right now. Tell me if you can hear this.
There's zero liability, so there's no incentive for them to make vaccines safe. They don't have to spend any money on marketing or advertising because they're mandated for 74 million kids to take whether they like it or not.
Right. Have y'all heard that? Did y'all hear what was just broadcasted? Did y'all hear that at all? I need to know if y'all heard that. If you're on YouTube, let me know if you heard it. If you're on TikTok, let me know if you heard it. Y'all couldn't hear that? Lene said she didn't hear it. Oh, okay. I just played it though, literally. Yep. Pearl heard it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna play it one more time. Same section.
There's zero liability, so there's no incentive for them to make vaccines safe. They don't have to spend any money on marketing or advertising because they're mandated for 74 million kids to take one.
All right, did y'all hear that? Did y'all hear that? I need y'all to share this room up like crazy. Because what up, Jalissa? Because that needs to be broadcasted on the loudspeaker. You know what has gone underneath the veil of secrecy and in the conversation? Basically on the last part, Red, he said that they don't have to advertise. Yep, they don't have to advertise because they mandated the vaccines. They don't have to advertise. Listen, I'm gonna play y'all. This is a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to drop on y'all. I forget the guy's name, man. Let me see if I can get somebody to give me his name right quick.
There's zero liability.
Let me see if I can get his name really quickly. It is super powerful. It is super duper powerful. And y'all are not gonna. Y'all don't want to miss this. Let me see. And No, I wasn't talking. Listen. Hit the share button, hit the like button, run it up because this is finna be crazy. This is finna be crazy. And I'm just piecemealing this to y'all right now. Like I'm literally just spoon feeding y'all Senator Kennedy. That's who it is. Senator Kennedy. Sunshine. I don't know about being which vaccines is a better one. Yeah, I am. I am. Sunshine. You're about to hear why. You're about to hear somebody else double down on why that is. Let me go militant on y'all right quick. Oh, no, not militant, but let me help y'all understand, right? Yes, it is. It's considered one because listen, Joshua, the reason why it's considered one is because medicine has to go through review and vaccines don't. That's why they called it that. That's why they did that. But I'm about to play you something that should help you understand a little bit more, Joshua. It's really, really, really crazy when you understand, we think that when they say vaccines that was put in place to help us, but it was actually used as a military ploy so they would not have to get any approval. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is who you guys are about to listen to. Robert F. K. Kennedy Jr.
So
Listen, here you go.
There's zero liability. So there's no incentive for them to make vaccines safe.
Okay, so let's start there. First thing he says is there's zero liability. So there's no reason for them to make vaccines safe. Listen, even when there is liability, these people do not do the right thing. So now we've taken the brakes off. We've taken the brakes off of these things, and now we're taking them off even worse for our kids. But I'm a stick and move, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna start at the beginning. So I just want to highlight some stuff as we go down. They have immunity. Remember they did that? That's right. You see what I'm saying, Joshua? Listen, here you go.
They don't have to spend any money on marketing or advertising because they're mandated for 74 million kids to take whether they like it or not.
Right.
And they don't have to test vaccines. It's the only medical product that doesn't have to be safety tested.
Did you hear that? They don't have to test it. It's the only medical product that does not have to be tested. Does that make sense? They don't have to test what they're going to be giving to kids. They don't have to test it. The kids are the guinea pigs. The kids are the ones who are shaping the future. So if you start them off as kids screwed up, what does the future look like? They look like the future can be controlled. It looks like the future can be manhandled. Why? Because the kids will be subservient. So check this out. Let's keep going.
And the reason for that is it's an artifact of CDC's legacy as the public health service. And that agency was a quasi-military agency. That's why people at CDC have military ranks, like Surgeon General. And the vaccine program was conceived as a national security defense against a biological attack on our country. So they wanted to make sure if the Russians attacked us with anthrax or some other biological agent, that we would be able to quickly formulate a vaccine, deploy it to 200 million people without regulatory impediments. And so they said, if we call it medicine, we need to safety test it. Let's call it something else.
If we call it medicine, we have to safety test it. Are y'all listening to that? You don't need to safety test it if it's not called medicine. If it's called medicine, yes, you have to safety test it. But if it's not called medicine, you don't have to safety test it. So think about all the vaccines that have been distributed over the years to your kids, to you. You got to remember, like, a lot of you are above the age of those crazy vaccinations. Y'all got some of the vaccinations, but not all of the vaccinations. If y'all don't remember, back in '89 is when all these different allergies and all these different, y'all ain't, listen, most of y'all lifetime, y'all never heard of ADHD. That wasn't even a thing. Your life, ADHD is something new. So how is it that, you know what I'm saying? Like, think about that. ADHD is something new, y'all. Most of these problems that we hear about with these kids is new. Yeah, so so Priscilla said she's 57 and was vaccinated as a child. Now, Priscilla, I want you to pay close attention to what's being said. As a child, you did not get all those vaccinations. You got a couple vaccinations, but those were all, most of those were already in the wheelhouse. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had already been studied and vetted. This current one that we're dealing with is new. Sunshine, ADHD. Watch this, Sunshine. I'm about to show you something. ADHD has not always been around. I'm finna let you hear something.
Biologic, and we'll exempt them from safety testing.
Okay. So we can't do that, Sunshine. We can't say they just now named it. We can't do that. I mean, that's moving the yardstick. If it was a thing then they would have had it would have been diagnosed, and it would have had a quote, the way things are going now, the way things are set up, it would have been diagnosed, and they would have created something to make money off of it. Going to school, I'm 48, and I don't recall classmates having so many allergies. Yep, all that's all new. ADHD never was out back in the day. It was never, no, it wasn't. There was no ADHD at especially at Priscilla's age of 57. She can't, none of you above the age of 1989 is when the vaccine program started really happening. 1989. So if you were born before 1989, you're not dealing with none of that. Before 1989. Let's continue. Keep listening.
So the companies, when they made this sort of gold rush in 1989 to add new vaccines to the schedule, took advantage of that.
What up,
and
Trini?
said, hey, we don't have to safety test these things. And because of that,
So wait, let me rewind a little bit. Red Fox, at what age was your mother diagnosed with it? Sunshine, what age was your mother diagnosed with it? And so y'all have to remember this, right? When they're giving these kids these vaccines, they study them to see the reaction and response so they know how they are going to respond and react so that they can do that. I need Red. I understand she was born. I understand she only told you as a child, but what I'm saying to you is, when did she get diagnosed with ADHD? Most times, what we've seen in recent times, they didn't know what to call it then. They were just hyperactive and couldn't focus. You understand that? That's not what all ADHD is, and they let them tell it there's a chemical imbalance, so they would be able to identify it. That's why they have a chemical to treat it. There's an imbalance there. So you also then have to say, Sunshine, why wasn't it a thing then and it's a thing now? Like, I'm just trying to open y'all up to understand the logic that they're trying to get you. My son got told he was ADHD, and he is 31. He was told when he was 31 he had ADHD. Do y'all understand? Like, do you understand that they create the problem and then they're trying to fix the problem? They remind me of the governor of Michigan, who caused the water crisis and then tried to fix it himself. So no, what I'm saying to you is, Red, when you talk, we'll wait till you go talk to her, Red, because you said, but if she said child, that tells me anywhere from 5'11" to, if anything, y'all have to remember that just like with this vaccine that's out right now, they came up with the different versions based off of the reactions of the people that took it. Yeah, I mean, that's because after 1989, Chrissy, is when the vaccine program went into overdrive. They found a loophole in 1989 that they decided that they do not have to be approved if they're called vaccines. I'm sure, Red, there was a lot of stuff going on, back in those days that were more attributed to the wars, more attributed to the drugs that was available. All that kind of stuff was then. But when it comes to this vaccine program, an intentional shot that people were given gave off intentional responses. That's why we have, if I want to make more money and I'm a person who is out here making these drugs, yep, I'm going to put this thing and make it mandatory. It's mandatory. You finna hear it. I'm gonna let him play. I'm gonna let it play some more, but he's going to open up all y'all eyes with this next little bit of conversation.
Drax or some other biological agent that we would be able to quickly formulate a vaccine, deploy it to 200 million people
Keep listening.
without regulatory impediments. And so they said, if we call it a medicine, we need to safety test it. Let's call it something else. We'll call it a biologic, and we'll exempt them from safety testing. So the companies, when they made this sort of gold rush in 1989 to add new vaccines to the schedule, took advantage of that and said, hey, we don't have to safety test these things. And because of that, we now have products that nobody knows what the risks are. We do know that the same year that we passed all of that, they put them on the schedule, you had this explosion of chronic disease. And, our children are now the sickest generation in history.
Let me go back. Y'all heard what happened. He said after 1989, once they put these vaccines on the schedules, that we've had the most chronic diseases. And let me help you understand, because so some of y'all know what the word chronic means. The word chronic means exactly what's going on right now with a lot of people. You're taking this, you guys are getting diagnosed and having to take whatever you're taking for your life. You know what I'm saying? You're taking whatever you're taking for your life. So again, I gotta let it keep playing because it's gonna really break down. It should be eye-opening to everyone who within the sound of my voice. What up, DJ Dub? Keep listening.
Nobody knows what the risks are.
Nobody knows what the risks
We
are.
do know that the same year that we passed all of that, they put them on the schedule, you had this explosion of chronic disease. And, our children are now the sickest generation in history.
Sickest generation in history.
And CDC shrugs its shoulders and say, if you say, where's this autism epidemic coming from? They say, we don't know.
Right.
Where is the obesity epidemic coming from? Where is the diabetes epidemic coming from? Why do our kids have peanut allergies, which essentially didn't exist prior to 1989?
How about all the attention deficit stuff?
Yeah, and all of that
as
is
well
directly linked to vaccines in the scientific literature. On our website, we have 1,400 studies, peer-reviewed studies, published on NIH's website, PubMed, linking it to linking various vaccines to all of those injuries.
So what are they doing this for? Money?
Well, they're making $60 billion a year selling us vaccines, but they're making $500 billion a year selling the remedies for the injuries caused by vaccines.
Wow.
Now, did y'all hear that? What up, Denise? What up, Sonny? Just joining the live, my champions. Listen, did y'all consume that? They are making $60 million a year from selling it, but they're making $500 million a year from treating it. Now, I've said this many times on this live that the answer is not in the cure. The answer is not in the cure, it's in the treatment. So for all of the different things that are going on, attribute it to somebody asked us the other day, we on our live, somebody said, yo, do you think they have the cures? Absolutely. They absolutely have it. Yeah, we listen, Lola, we're not at a loss of money. We have a loss of money when it comes to who we're going to give it to. I saw three brothers all on behavioral medicine. It's crazy. Yeah, you have to, Red. That was a great stance to take because your body has all it needs. God provides. A lot of times we don't use the natural resources. I'll let it continue. We're going to go back over this. I'm going to go back over this section for section, but let me get through the whole thing. Keep listening.
Oh, the diabetes medication, the Adderall, the Ritalin, the the Advair inhalers, the albuterol inhalers, the anti-seizure medications, all of those. This is a really great business plan for these companies. You make people sick, and then you sell them the lifetime cure. Measles, they weren't making any money. If you get measles or chicken pox, the cure is chicken soup and vitamin A, and you can't patent either of those.
Huh.
And you're well in a week. There's self-limiting illnesses that go away in a week. But if you can give somebody that vaccine and make them, diabetic for life, and you got a permanent customer, or ADD or ADHD, and many of the vaccines are for illnesses for which there's zero risk. A 1-day-old baby has zero risk of getting hepatitis B
right.
if his mother doesn't have it,
yeah.
which every mother's tested for. You can only get it from, unprotected sex or from sharing needles.
Did you hear that? Do you hear that? Listen, when you've had a baby or in the recent past, if you've had a child, they want to give your child a Hep B shot. Why? It's a sexual disease or a drug addict's disease. Why would your kids need a Hep B shot? I'm continuing. It's going to be available on my YouTube channel.
So, why are we giving 1-day-old babies a vaccine for hepatitis B? And they admit the vaccine only lasts 5 years. That baby is not going to have sex with a prostitute in the first 5 years of life. There's zero risk. They don't.
All right, so that's where we stop it at for now. I'm going to rewind it because I think that we should break the whole thing down. I think this would be a great conversation today. They said, Sunshine, you missed it. It said if the mother doesn't have Hep B, why should the child get a Hep B shot? Can't get it through delivery if the mother doesn't have it. I think you missed that part when they said that, Sunshine. I'm gonna let y'all consume that for a minute. I'm gonna just let that sit right there for a minute, man. I'm gonna let y'all sort some of that out in y'all head before I go back and play this again. Go ahead and share the room up. Hit the like button. I put the most ridiculous live goal up there. You know what I mean? I was like, today is gonna be explosive. Let's be explosive all the way. The live goal. Look at it. It's crazy. At least I think it's crazy. At least I think people will think it's crazy. Yeah, Miss Glee, this is the sauce today, boy. And I was gonna preface it with this. The conversation today was gonna be between, Kanye West getting dropped from Adidas and then this conversation. Linda said, watch the movie Vaxxed. I got another movie for y'all to watch. Watch the Real Anthony Fauci movie. You know what I mean? Then that's the name of it. Just type in www.therealanthonyfauci movie. Watch that. Sunshine says, come work in the hospital with me for 1 day. Help me understand put that in context for me, please. So I can understand where you're going with that. You know what I'm saying? I think there are some people who work in hospitals that are in here also, Sunshine, but what am I to gain from working in the hospital based off of the information I just got through playing? I think it'll be interesting to hear your perspective on that. Oh, she said above. Okay, so let me go back up. Let me see. She said because you can get it through delivery. But somebody has to have it, right? Don't somebody have to have Hep B in order for you to get it through delivery, like maybe the mom or whatever? Yeah, Spacey, Kanye got dropped from Adidas today. That we'll have that conversation maybe later today or something, but you know, Sunshine, you I think the last statement you said was that what up, Mary? Is that they could get it from the mom or through delivery. Who's going to give it to them through delivery? Okay, let's go back up. She said people have died. But somebody has to have it. If you missed the message he said, why does a kid have to have a Hep B shot if no one has it? Like, if the mom doesn't have it, why should a kid that most likely won't have it have to take a Hep B shot? That was his point. Yep. Spacey said you got to get every jab in the world to work in the hospital. That's because the hospitals are in cahoots with the pharmacy, which is in cahoots with, you know what I mean? No. Sunshine, you missed it. He said in the conversation, why should a 1-year-old baby, get the Hep B shot? They have to already have it. I agree with you, Ms. Glee, but the scenario he said, most parents don't have hepatitis B. I don't have it. Shoot, most parents don't have hepatitis B. Most adults don't have hepatitis B. So when you have two people who don't have hepatitis B that have a baby, well, the baby ain't gonna have hepatitis B because neither one of them have it. Oh, okay. So you're talking about flu and COVID vaccines. You do understand that those are the flu. Most people get over the flu. And you missed that too. He said with soup and vitamin A and things like that. I've never had the flu. Never needed the flu shot. I understand that in order to get the flu, if I wanted it, I could get the flu shot because the influenza is in the flu shot. And I know they tried to make you believe that COVID wasn't in. And I'll give you this. In the vaccines that they created a similarity. They did not create it, and that's why people who took the shot still get sick. Do y'all understand that what they did when they created these shots is they made a synthesized response? That's right. Your body naturally does it. So what happens, Ms. Glee, when you don't use a natural remedy for a natural result? You get an unnatural result. I have a friend that reversed every chronic disease she had by changing to a whole food, plant-based diet. Saying this because you mentioned that our bodies are designed to heal itself. Absolutely. Absolutely, Priscilla, on my YouTube channel. So many people have had the flu shot and have had the flu more than once. Yep. So here's the thing. In a country that can eradicate Ebola, you all have seen it. I can give you the example when those people came back from Africa, they let the black man die. They brought the 2 white people here to the CDC in Atlanta, and they cured them. That's so you can understand. There are so many chemicals that we consume daily that knocks out the natural immunity system. No, it never knocks out our natural immune system, ever. You can't bite and chew that. Your immune system has to be boosted just like those things are boosted. Just like, and this is why this is the conversation I've been having with y'all where I tell y'all, listen, man, y'all remember that you have to combat those foods. You have to actually avoid a lot of the foods because you're right, there are a lot of chemicals in them. So how do you fight chemicals? You fight chemicals by eating cleaner and by taking supplements, natural supplements. You boost your vitamin E. You boost your zinc. You boost all those things naturally. So let me give you all this. When they lied to everyone when they said that they told a half truth. They didn't lie. There was a big argument about that the vid being in the remedy, that the cause was in the cure, right? So what they did, they sidestepped that and let me go on record. It doesn't matter what they said anyway because they're immune to it. Remember, doctors and scientists are not held liable from the vaccine injuries that anybody has. They're immune to any vaccine injuries caused by the 2020 event. Had one flu shot in my life, no issue for me. However, like you, I have not had the flu ever. Yeah, that's the realest thing I can tell you. So with that in mind, I want y'all to understand this is what they did. So y'all understand how they did these vaccines. They made a synthetic response to a natural event that had a synthetic element to it. All right, I want y'all to follow me here. So the virus itself was 4 parts or to 5 parts natural. We had seen it all before in SARS, MERS, H1N1. We had seen all that. But there was an element that hadn't been seen, which is where they talk about the gain of function that was done in it. So in that, they created a synthetic response that was to manage all of that. Now, how does synthetic mix with natural? It doesn't. So that's why they said to you all, what up, Tashi? What did they say? Hey, it works with the spike protein. So the spike protein is evidence of what they gained the function of, which was the problem. Remember, they said the spike gets into your pores or whatever, gets into your, and then it creates these holes. And the holes then try to heal themselves and cause mucus. It damages. Y'all heard the process. So when you put one of these vaccines in, guess what? It doesn't cure the rest of the effects of COVID. Only affects the spike protein. These are all truths that they have left out there for you all. So that's why so many people who have taken it still get sick with it. That's why they still get sick no matter what. It's not a cure, but you know they have a cure. And we know that there are cures out there that exist. Most people who develop strong antibodies, which they tried to say, which they try to say didn't last long. Come on, man. When your body develops these immunities, they last forever. For sure, Chrissy. This is a huge thing. So this conversation may happen more than once. Good morning, Red Baby. I got the vaccine and I waited all the way till March because I was traveling. Yeah, to go to a wedding. And that, I understand there were people who got it circumstantially. A buddy of mine actually got it and said he wished he had never gotten it. I had 0 side effects from the shot. So most people don't experience that, Lene. They actually experience the effects of it in a slight way. And then you have to buy into that you probably never would have got it anyway. Red says she got it with 0 side effects and still haven't gotten sick with COVID. Then I would dare say have you been around people who have been? Have you heard of any of your friends or people that you've been around that have had it? And then, it goes back to saying there are people, I don't know why this is a hard thing. There are people who've never got it. Like there are people who are, whose immune system is strong, people who have taken very good care of their bodies, avoided those crazy places or whatnot, and haven't gotten it. That's super dope, Maestro. I did get it. I got it on purpose, Sonny. I went and got it. Like I knew somebody who had it. I went and I got it. Like I literally went and got it before any of the vax and all that stuff was out there. I went the whole year without it though. Just let me go on the record and tell you. 2020 it came out, and then I kicked it. I was maskless all 2020. I was outside all 2020. I was everywhere doing everything, traveling, everything. Nothing. And I knew that. I told myself I wasn't going to get it, and I could have avoided getting it altogether. But once they started talking about putting these vaccines out there, then it was like, do I want them to try to get my antibodies started, or do I want to get my antibodies started? And I went and got it. And when I got it, is the biggest part for me was dehydration. If I laid down, I had a fever. If I sat up, I didn't. Lasted about 8 days maybe. After that, I came out of it stronger and faster because I'm a runner. When I got it, I promise you, I went to the gym and I was trying to figure out what was going on. There was a point where I walked outside during this. Now, y'all remember, the challenge about this thing is it's very flu-like. And just like the flu, the cold, or anything, during the winter season, it's more challenging to do anything. Why? Because it's cold outside. But I decided to go outside anyway because I was like, I'm going to walk this hill of mine. I'm going to go outside and be active because that's the only thing that's going to get me better. At first, I was down in my studio. I was like, I'll just stay down here and produce and kick it and whatever. And I was on Clubhouse every day. Just we was communicating and talking and everything. So I finally started going outside and I started getting better. I was taking elderberry. I was drinking a lot of cranberry juice, vitamin C, stuff like that. I was just doing all natural remedies. Never thought of a shot because it wasn't one available. This was January of 21. I then proceeded to go to the gym. Now, I'm a runner. Like I said, I used to run throughout the whole year of, if I pull up my Nike Run app for, let me see if I can do that. Nike Run app. I'm going to see if it still has the record of 2020 for me. And you're going to see all the completed circles. My run goal was 6 to 8 miles daily. I'm gonna see. It's let me log in. Let's see. I was running 6 to 8 miles all of 2020, so I knew what my comfort was or my levels were when I ran. You know what I mean? And so when I got over COVID and I started going back to the gym, man, you talk about being fast. It was incredible. Not only fast, but more so distance. I was able to run further, more relaxed than I ever had. It was incredible. It was incredible. I was able to run like crazy. And we're seeing that more often, Trini. 2 friends developed myocarditis after the jab. We've seen that more often. You've seen athletes passing out all around the world, unfortunately, because of this. You know what I'm saying? It's bad. And nobody wants to, again, it goes back to what he said is they don't have to justify it because they're immune to, it's like being able to play doctor and not have to worry about if you kill somebody in the process. You know what I'm saying? It's like being able to play a game and you don't have to worry about the results. How crazy is that? Ask app not to track. No, that's the wrong one. Let me go to activity. I went through all that and went to the wrong one. Let me see if I can get the activity summary. It's got, I don't want today's date. I want to see how I can go back. There used to be a way you could go back and look at all the dates of your runs. Let me see, summary, units, notifications. I want to go back to the beginning because I need y'all to see how much I was a running fool. Okay, there we go. Let me go back. I'm gonna go back to 2020. Right now it's letting me go back. Okay, there we go. I'm waiting for it to catch up. Because it'll show you the circles. You know what I'm saying? It'll show you the circles as to, okay, there we go. It's only showing me October and November and December of 2020, like the end of the year. Let me see if I can get it to show some of these. Nope. So let me see. Let me press that again. Let me go back up. So I'm gonna show y'all because I run like a fool. and that should have been the global response, honestly. That should have been the global response. So here y'all go. So I don't know if y'all can see this. These circles, every time y'all see that, that's me running. That's me running. The completed circles is me running over 1,000 something calories. There you go. Take a good look at it, because I know some of y'all don't believe. Take a good look at that. Look at that. That's me running the whole, that's 2020 and 2021 now. I'm just trying to tell y'all, I run. Like, I'm going to pick one. Let's go to this one on a Sunday. I exercise for 70 minutes, over 7.43 miles. Let me go to another one. That was 7 miles. This one is 6 miles. Let me go to another one. I'm gonna go to all let me go back up, because I want to. This is 2022. I didn't want to go. I don't want to go earlier this year. Let me go back. Let's go to 21. Okay, so in 21, let's go to the early part. So January is when I caught it, and it kind of reflects it right there. Yeah, you can see it's right there. Where I took it was at the end of January, and you can see it trailed off from the 26th through the 7th. I took it easy, and then I started back up, and then that one is 5.83 miles. This one is 6.64 miles. This one is 7.25 miles. Y'all see how I'm ramping up because I'm starting to feel better. This one is 6.28 miles in a faster time than I normally do. This one is 7.74 miles. Just so y'all understand, like, you had to do something different during that time. So my antibodies kicked in, and I've been, you know what I'm saying? Now, for those of you who got natural, who got their antibodies naturally, you would be subjected to the remix that they came out with later on in the year. They came out with 2 remixes. They came out with a Delta remix, and they came out with an Omicron remix. But they had a whole bunch of other remixes in there. You know what I mean? Y'all do know that, right? They had Emu and Lou, and they had like 4 or 5 different remixes to all this. To all this stuff. But they weren't as effective. And the one thing that they wanted to increase is what they did increase was its catchability. The harshness of it didn't increase, but the ability to catch it was. And the harshness really only affected, what up, Nikki? Really only affected those people who were already predisposed to being hurt, whether it was the flu or anything else. Yeah, Red, they are, and that's only it's the winter months. Red, it's going to go up because now they can't. They've never been able to distinguish between that and the flu, right? In terms of diagnosing it. So some people are getting it and are transmitting it, and it's a stronger version of the flu, but it's still the flu is in it. And if you have and if you've naturally got your antibodies, then you shouldn't have much to worry about. It's the people who have taken the shot who are more susceptible, because you didn't develop natural immune, you developed a synthesized result. And that synthesized result only protects you from a part of it and not all of it. Y'all do understand that, right? Like, people who got natural immunity covered their whole antibody spectrum. It covered every part. That's right. They covered every part of it. Yep. Nope, it never will be. It's all kind of dying out, and that's why they remixed it, Tashi. Listen, do you remember the campaign that went before COVID? The 2019, 2018, they were giving the flu shot away for free. They were offering it at every corner that you could go around. You could get it at Walmart, you could get it at Walgreens, you could get it at CVS, you could get it at all these places that people are administering a shot to you. Do you remember there was a time where you could only get a shot in a doctor's office? Like, they're preying on your short-term memory. Do you remember you couldn't get a shot out from anybody who wasn't a doctor? Look at that. That's exactly should be your answer. Nah, I'm straight. I'm good on that. My doctor, they already know. Don't ask me none of that. Nah, I'm straight. I'm not doing none of that. That's not going to be a condition I'm going to have to deal with. Let's play this. I want to play this one more time so y'all can really consume this. Just listen again, y'all.
There's zero liability.
Zero
So
liability.
there's no incentive for them to make vaccines
No
safe.
incentive for them to make it right.
They don't have to spend any.
Unknown caller.
I'm gonna decline that for now, but I think I need to call them back in a minute. Did you hear the most important thing he said? There's no liability. Can you imagine what would you do if you had no liability? Meaning, if you could run in the bank, rob the place, and then, I guess, even get caught, and then they say, "Don't worry about it." And the Tashi, that should have been evidence in itself. The fact that you had to keep re-upping, it was a blitz. It was a financial blitz. I don't know if I hope y'all just remember this. It was a financial blitz. That's right. No, because there was no liability. Lynn said, if there's no liability, why did J&J pull their vaccines when they first came out? Because they were blatantly harming people. Now that's just different. I gave vaccine as a nurse when I really read the disclaimer. It was hell no for me. Exactly. And that's when you start understanding. The minute that they said that, everybody should have knew the gig was up. The minute that they said, "Hey, if something goes wrong, you can't mess with us." That's in there, Red. That was in the documents. If something goes wrong, you cannot sue these people for vaccine injury. And if you didn't know it, it's for it's for everything that you're dealing with. That's why. Do you understand that they're trying to get this? What is the disease he was saying? It's a disease. Autism. Autism is a result of a shot. And so they're trying to they're trying to sue them. Yep. I have a consent of the copy. Yep. Exactly. Why would you have to listen? I keep, logic is such an easy thing to do. Logic is such an easy thing to talk about, man. Because logic just says it is what it is. Logic says if something is good for your body and it works, word will spread like wildfire. Mm-hmm. That's right. Exactly. And it's more likely it's from a shot. No, Momo, that's funny. Oh, that's funny. That's why they're trying to sue them, though, is because of the vaccine injury that causes not only autism but ADHD and everything. He named off a bunch of those things. And when you think about it, that's what they said, Bella. It was the mercury in it. But there's so many different concoctions that they've created that I need y'all to back up and understand this. If any of y'all have had a problem with this current vaccine rush that they're doing, they have just mandated your children to have this shot moving forward. Moving forward, your kids will have this shot. What are you going to do about it? That's the real question. Who going to stand up for their kids? Damn sure didn't stand up for our elders. How do elders get it? Like, they're secluded on an island. Homeschooling is not protecting your kids. That's an alternative. But if we don't face these people head on and say you can't change the goal line for the sake of changing the goal line and stop them in their tracks, maybe it's somebody else's kids who can't afford to homeschool. What I'm saying to you is, even you turning coattail and just dealing with your kids, there's a bigger village out there. And this is the challenge that I have, is that we leave people unprotected. That's great for you, but what about the parent that can't? That's the real question. Who's standing up for the parents that can't stay home and homeschool their kids? That's the conundrum that they try to put you in. And they say you will not fight. You will not be. That's right, Momo. You will not be the community. Miss Yodo, it doesn't have to be. Listen, when you say government, you make it seem so huge, and that's why people run from it, right? Right now, you only need to stand up to the CDC, which is a function of the government. It's like saying this: you got all these functions of the government. Which one of these is easier to break? Can I break this finger when it's standing out here by itself, or when it's like this, can I break this finger? You know what I'm saying? Momo, it's not about writing the congressman, and we're going to use W next time. Yeah, there you go. It's not about writing the congressman. Those letters are cool. You could do that in conjunction with, but you have to stop the flow of income in order to raise anybody's attention. I would just as soon as, it'd be take kid to work day every day, and your employer would then catch the strain of having an office building or a factory full of kids and say, we can't run this factory this way. Something's got to change. Let these kids back in school. Don't make them take the shot. Yep. I'm telling you, it's bigger than writing a letter, and it's bigger than homeschooling. It is attending the school regardless. True story, Trini. Most of us, a majority of us are tied to our contract with this country. And not enough of us know it well enough. You know what I'm saying? Red Fox, not everyone. Like, I want to make sure that we're using the right words, because those words seem so infinite and people can't grasp that. If I told you we just need 100,000 people in each city, then we can have an effective change. Exactly, Taushi. And here's the thing, Taushi, we actually did the first one. We actually, when this whole thing popped off, the whole world shut down and all the kids were home with their parents. And companies said, well, you can just stay at home and work. And that was fine for the whole first year. But people forget that. They forgot it so fast the minute they introduced the vaccine that people let them strong arm them back to work. Yeah, Trini. I think that the challenge with that, Trini, is this. Not enough people know how to do that and have a straightforward path to doing it. They don't know what they gain and they don't know what they lose. Yeah. Yeah, true story. Somebody of authority can come and say something to somebody and they just consume it. They just eat it up and go with it. But not me. It shouldn't be you. And for the sake of your kids, you're going to have to stand in the face of those people who would lie to you. What up, like you? So that's where that's when people say just keep your kids home and homeschool them. I say that's not the remedy, because you leave people out here. You don't change the system, you change yourself. And the objective is to change the way things work. If they know that you'll put up the argument and the fight to maintain your what you want, then they have to change. And it's easier for them to change. For them, it's just a scribble on a pen. It's just typing up something and everybody saying, yeah, we can't, they're not going to let us run through with this one. They're going to create the purge if we keep this up. That's the part. That's the part that people need to start assuming, that you can't march everything away. You can't write letter everything away. At some point, you're going to have to use and do an actionable item, something that really makes a difference. So I don't prescribe homeschooling as a result to you know, as a result to this problem, I think that the conversation needs to be started. That's right. Marching and letters ain't got us nowhere. The one time that we did something was the sit-in, the boycott. The boycott changed things, and it took a year. And that's the other challenge we have now is people want things instantly. People want to sit down and then a day later hear somebody say, okay, we changed it. You guys are good to go. We understand your grievance and we fixed it. And it doesn't work like that. I think one of the messaging that needs to be had is prepare to dig in. And matter of fact, it should be, listen, at the top of the year, this is what's going to happen. For now, prepare yourself. 2 to 3 things that need to be happening. 1, stockpile some food and some preserves and some things you may need so that you don't have to support those businesses in the future. 2, make sure that you are able to protect your family. And I was getting to that. That's a third one, Trini, is start learning how to grow your own food. You got to know the gig is up when they tell you can't collect your own rainwater to circumvent if they should ever decide to cut your water off. It's against the law to collect rainwater. So you have to start thinking of things in ways to be self-sufficient. You got to be able to protect yourself. Hopefully, most of you are in a position to protect you and your loved ones and your community. And that goes beyond the Second Amendment, right? But also, you should have things, if they're going to come with a, if they're out there throwing gas around, then why don't you have a gas mask? Why don't you have something to protect yourself with that? Yeah, rainwater is illegal, T-Line. Yep. I mean, because they want everybody to feel alone, Red. If they make you feel alone, then you'll lean to them. Think about it. They did that with the 2020 event. They told everybody, stay to yourself. Don't go out. Don't communicate or commune with people. You understand? So with that in mind, you gotta reevaluate what you've been told and turn it around. Yes, I grow my own veggies. They're saying you may not be able to buy seeds. Yeah, they did that. Remember during 2020, they shut that whole thing down. And the chances of getting, good seeds, the chances of being able to fertilize your seeds and all those kind of things, like really every one of us should have a small garden somewhere near our house. Like we should have a small garden in the backyard or on the side of the house or somewhere where the ingredients to grow it, whatever it is, so the ingredients that we need to grow these things are right there. But you should be learning how to do that. Should you ever have to be in the wilderness? Should you ever have to create your own way of living? You should. I got a fig tree that was planted on my birthday that is growing exponentially by my house. I'll eat figs. Well, and hey, you don't even have to get a house. You can create a box, a nice size rectangle, and begin creating your own garden on your balcony or somewhere or anything like that. Yep, generators, alkaline water machine, fireplace. Yep, and it's not even like a, Trini, when we type or say things like that, I know people are like, this is some doomsday event type stuff, but it's not. It's all about preparing. Lynn, you gotta have a walkway. You gotta have something where you can create and make a garden like that. Like you don't have a balcony. You don't have a walkway. You don't have a back door or a backyard. None of that. That's crazy. Let me find out. Red Fox is chatting from jail. I'm stupid. I'm so sorry. That's too funny. But yeah, man. You don't have to be an islander, but you do have to kind of manage yourself as if you're on an island. Not only with that, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Get the 10 to 30 gallon garden bags and put it on, you know what I'm saying? Large containers work too. Yeah, you can get those large, for from Container Store or from any store for that matter. You've seen those containers where people carry stuff in. Yeah. I'm just saying, there has to be a way for listen, where there's a will, there's a way. I can't tell you exactly how to do it, but I know that you can find a way to sustain yourself. And that's what we just have to figure it out. You can garden in jars. Yeah, what up, Letitia? Yeah, that was the let me know I got 20% battery left. So get the Aero Garden for an indoor garden. There are ways to do it. And everybody's giving great suggestions. I just know that where there's a will, there's a way. Where there's a concern, there's somebody who's going to try to manage that concern. But it's necessary, right? It's necessary to do something versus doing nothing. If you haven't managed your Second Amendment right, I think that you should do that. And then go practice. Like, go copy what you need or whatever, and then go practice. I don't want to be standing next to nobody in battle who don't know what they're doing. Like, think about this. Amazon has it all, she said. My friend has a garden in his kitchen. That's what's up. Nothing worse than being in a situation where somebody next to you doesn't know the protocol, doesn't know how to handle themselves, but they're supposed to be there to help you. I want to know that the individuals that are around me are qualified to be around me. This goes even deeper than just your Second Amendment right and protecting others. This goes on a whole bunch of different levels. The reason why we have these conversations and why these rooms and these lives are really dope is that we can talk and get on the same page, and you don't have to feel alone. But you also, like I always say, you got to take these conversations elsewhere. You got to take these conversations into your community. Y'all got to put programs together. And yeah, people going to think you crazy like Noah. They're going to think you're a conspiracy theorist like Noah. But I always lean to that. I tell people, yeah, Noah was considered a conspiracy theorist at one point. Start training your mind and body. There's so much that needs to be done mentally and physically. A lot of times we hear our community say things like, God will provide. Well, I'm telling you, God has provided. God has provided. God provided you with a healthy body and a healthy mind to go out and execute what he's given you in knowledge, or to learn what you need to learn. I saw the street where everyone had a garden in their front yard. They traded with each other. That's so dope, Trini, because that would be the ideal way that you would do it too. You say, hey, I'm going to plant the tomatoes, you plant the greens, you plant the cucumbers, you plant the this. You know what I'm saying? That's right. And he gave you the vision to prepare accordingly. So, we can make a mockery of the gifts that God has given us psychologically and mentally and spiritually if we want to. But I will always lean back on you have all you need. Yep. Your body is designed to do that. We watch movies like the X-Men and we watch Wolverine get hurt and then his skin come back together or whatever. But your body does that too. Your body does that. Maybe not at the extreme rate that his does, but your body heals itself. It wants to heal itself. Your body always wants to be great. And the only way you do that is by giving it the things that it needs. You support it with great intake. So I'm going to play this one more time, y'all, in its entirety. And
liability. So there's no incentive for them to make vaccines safe. They don't have to spend any money on marketing or advertising because they're mandated for 74 million kids to take whether they like it or not.
Right.
And they don't have to test vaccines. It's the only medical product that doesn't have to be safety tested. And the reason for that is it's an artifact of CDC's legacy as the Public Health Service, and that agency was a quasi-military agency. That's why people at CDC have military ranks, like Surgeon General. And the vaccine program was conceived as a national security defense against a biological attack on our country. So they wanted to make sure if the Russians attacked us with anthrax or some other biological agent, that we would be able to quickly formulate a vaccine, deploy it to 200 million people without regulatory impediments. And so they said, if we call it a medicine, we need to safety test it. Let's call it something else.
Y'all do know what regulation impediments are. Y'all do know what that is, right? That means they wanted to move without impunity. They wanted to be able to move quickly and not have to answer to anybody. They didn't want to have to be questioned. They just want to walk through the building and not you say, who was they? Nope. You don't get to say nothing to us. We going where we going and you ain't stopping us.
A biologic, and we'll exempt them from safety testing. The companies, when they made this sort of gold rush in 1989 to add new vaccines to the schedule, took advantage of that and said, hey, we don't have to safety test these things. And because of that, we now have products that nobody knows what the risks are. We do know that the same year that we passed all of that, they put them on the schedule, you had this explosion of chronic disease. And, our children are now the sickest generation in history. And CDC shrugs its shoulders and say, if you say, where's this autism epidemic coming from? They say, we don't know.
Right.
Where is the obesity epidemic coming from? Where is the diabetes epidemic coming from? Why do our kids have peanut allergies, which essentially didn't exist prior to 1989?
How about all the attention deficit stuff?
Yeah, and all of that
as
is
well
directly linked to vaccines in the scientific literature. On our website, we have 1,400 studies, peer-reviewed studies, published on NIH's website, PubMed, linking it to linking various vaccines to all of those injuries.
So what are they doing this for? Money?
Well, they're making $60 billion a year selling us vaccines, but they're making $500 billion a year selling the remedies for the injuries caused by vaccines.
Wow.
So the diabetes medication, the Adderall, the Ritalin, the Concerta, the Advair inhalers, the albuterol inhalers, the anti-seizure medications, all of those, this is a really great business plan for these companies. You make people sick, and then you sell them the lifetime cure. And measles, they weren't making any money. If you get measles or chicken pox, the cure is chicken soup and vitamin A, and you can't patent either of those.
Huh.
And you're well in a week. There's self-limiting illnesses that go away in a week. But if you can give somebody that vaccine and make them, diabetic for life, and you got a permanent customer, or ADD or ADHD, and many of the vaccines are for illnesses for which there's zero risk. A 1-day-old baby has zero risk of getting hepatitis B
right.
if his mother doesn't have it,
Yeah.
which every mother's tested for. You can only get it from, unprotected sex or from sharing needles. So, why are we giving 1-day-old babies a vaccine for hepatitis B? And they admit the vaccine only lasts 5 years. That baby is not going to have sex with a prostitute in the first 5 years of life. There's zero risk. They don't.
Do y'all hear that? Like that stuff becomes crazy. I appreciate you, Miss Michelle. I see you and Dr. Trini for the gifts or whatnot. Keep sharing the room. Keep hitting the like button, you guys. I put a really, really ridiculous live goal up there. Of course, you guys will see it. Not expecting anybody to do that, but you guys can, send any other gift you want. The Cash App is available as well. I hope you guys are enjoying this conversation. This is probably one of the deeper ones, as you guys are hearing statistics and you're hearing actual numbers. You're getting an opportunity to hear. And people are asking me, where is this from? You can look at this. 1 second. The real Anthony Fauci.com. www.therealanthonyfauci, however you pronounce it, FauciMovie.com. And that'll bring up, a whole bunch more information and more insight that's going to blow you away. These are fact-based conversations. This isn't a guessing game. This is just what it is. Make sure you're prepared and open-minded enough to accept the information. That's kind of one of the prerequisites to joining my live, is just be open-minded. I'm not telling you what I'm saying is everything. I'm saying, here's something to think about. Here's a bite to eat. Chew on this for a little bit. If it tastes great, then you get it. If you don't, go do some research on it. You know what I mean? Yes, he was the cause. Yep, Trini. He was misdiagnosing people and giving them the wrong recipe or whatnot. And it's crazy, Trini, when you think about it, that he did this at a time when Magic Johnson was a carrier of HIV and happened to survive it. Yeah, this is definitely food for thought, Ms. Michelle. Just a bite to eat, something to chew on. Sometimes hard to swallow. But it's necessary, right? It's necessary we have these conversations that help shift your mindset so that you can share with others. Not only vaccines, but all the substitutes, sugar, salts. Those are the subtle and silent killers, Red Baby. Like, you have your brash and in your face things that they're doing, and then that's coupled with what's happening underneath. Like, I can tell you all that, what up, MDP, that we are living a layered existence. There are multiple things happening at once. When 2020 happened, they were bottoming out the economy and trying to exploit the president at that time as incompetent and whatever. This was their final hurrah to get him out of office because he was giving up the game. Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to it's a necessary conversation, Linda. Like, I know some people are standoffish to it, and some people just want to be naive to it, and they just want to participate in their everyday life. You know what I mean? Yes, indeed, Trini. But you see they're putting up roadblocks and hurdles left and right because they don't want that kind of leadership that is that transparent. And I said that we'll never get that again. We'll never get a transparent presidency. We should require that. But there's so many secrets. There's so many skeletons in the closet. There's so many things that they don't want you to uncover, man. The fact that you can't understand what's going on with certain government facilities until 75 years after the people who put them in place are dead is an indicator. Yeah. Trini said they weren't picking up what he was putting down. Yeah, there was, he was leading in a way that was unpolitician-like. Think about it. That was probably one of his greatest allures. He was transparent, but lied too, so you wouldn't question when he lied. I think that because of his position, he had to. Sometimes you have to play the fool. You ever heard that speech by Dave Chappelle where he talked about his mom? He said sometimes you have to be a lion so you could be the lamb that you want to be. I think that the presidency had to come with a bit of two-facedness. I don't think you can be as transparent as he was. I don't think you could be as open as he was and not come off like, well, I got to dance like this because if I dance how I want to dance, everybody will recognize how I'm dancing and they won't receive it correctly. So I'm going to throw it out there. Hopefully you'll dig in deeper and do the research. And in most cases, I did that. Most cases, when he said something, I examined it. What did he mean by that? Same thing with Kanye West. Kanye West says a bunch of craziness. But when you examine it, then you say, okay, I see what it is. Same thing with Trump. I only used the one example where he mentioned hydrochloroquine as a element to not only treat but cure COVID. then you go back and do the research in 2005 before COVID was a thing. That's what stood in the trenches, hydrochloroquine. At 0.01 ILs, it cured, I think it had 0.01, it had 25% or 75%. There was a percentage that was associated with it. And I don't want to look it up right now. But there was a percentage that was associated with the degree of how much you use that would make it so that it was non-existent. I don't believe he's racist, Lene. And if he is, it's something new. I say that because I can say something that most people in this chat can't say is that I've met him. And I didn't get that. You get racist. Like, I know racist. I know what it feels like to be in the company of people who are faking it and everything. And I met him. I partied with him. Like Usher's 26th birthday party. We was at the Rainbow Room and we stayed at the Trump Hotel. I got a picture of us in front of it. Let me see if I can pull this up. I'll show you the picture of us at the Trump Hotel. If it'll let me see if I can go and find this photo. This is us at Usher's birthday. Let me see if it's on this phone. If not, I have to send it to this phone. Yeah, I don't think it's on this phone. I got every other photo. I thought I would have sent it to this phone before. But I can just send it over. Let me see if I can just send it while I'm talking. Go to all photos, go to albums, go to my albums, go all the way to the top. Cause this is, like I said, years ago. It's gonna take me a second. Okay, there we go. Let me share that photo. Airdrop it to my phone. And it should come up. Let me see. Let me make sure I'm still on with you guys first. Let me go to, okay, so it should, let me see if it's gonna be the last photo I just uploaded. Yep, there we go. So there you go. So I'm not a Trump supporter, but I do believe that he's probably the best candidate for the job. And that's who I vote for. I vote for the best candidate for the job. I'm not Republican or any of that. But this is us in front of the Trump Hotel. That's me with the newspaper. That's Usher above my head. That's his little brother next to him. That's my best friend Keith, one of them, Rico and Elijah. But this is in front of the Trump Hotel right before we went to the party that Naomi Campbell had thrown for Usher at the Rainbow Room. It was a throwback to the Renaissance period. That's why we were wearing those clothes that we were wearing. He didn't encourage the nonsense. I believe that community was already out there. And if you know how things work, man, do you know how easy it is for someone else to send out marching orders, especially in this day and age of I don't want to use the word espionage and all that kind of stuff, but when you think about it, anything's capable, right? The timing of the assassination of Donald Trump in terms of that January thing sounds to me like the assassination of Will Smith at the Oscars. Angie, every apartment complex has always screened me. You know what I'm saying? Every place I've ever been, I've gotten screened. I don't know anybody who's rented an apartment that never got screened. What are you saying? Like, I don't know of anyone who's rented a place anywhere. And especially Angie, if you've ever went to rent a high-end condo, they do more scrutiny than others. Now, if you're saying that there was a disproportionate amount of tenants that were let in and weren't let in, I understand that as well. But Um, I can't tell you what that's for. If that's for color or if that's for the grade of person in terms of their ranking. I'm not defending any of that, right? I'm just telling you the man that I met, I didn't get a racist vibe from. He didn't come off as racist. He was in a room full of black people during Usher's birthday party having the time of his life. That's all I can tell you. Like having the time of his life comfortably. Half of the hip hop community put him in their songs when he was a Democrat. You do know that. You know, you can feel when somebody is being racist and faking it. Yeah, exactly, Joshua. Y'all do know that he, like literally every person that ever met Trump prior to him deciding to go political, like most of maybe it's certain people, right? Because he was, when he was Democrat, he was in the streets. I'm sorry. When he was Democrat, he was beloved. And he said in an interview, man, he literally said, I'd have to become Republican because they're stupid in order to become president. And in order to become a Republican, most Republicans are what? Racist. So yeah, he had to wear that. And then not only did he wear that, he also went to an underserved community of people, the people that most people call white trash. What up, Teresa? He went to the quote unquote white trash community and became beloved. He became their savior. And yeah, we know those people are dumb as rocks. Have y'all ever seen one of those interviews that they've done with that community? Have any of y'all ever seen the interviews that he's done with that community, and the way that they communicate in response? Let me see. I'm trying to see if they show this. I need to go back in history a little bit and let's go back past year. I can't do that. I got to go back. Let me see. Let's go to 2006. Yes, most blacks were Republicans. That's the truth. Most blacks were Republican, and then we bought into the Democratic, dumbness. Democrats wanted us to be slaves. I don't know if y'all knew this. I don't know if y'all done your history, man. Democrats wanted us to be slaves. Y'all do know that, right? They wanted to continue slavery. That's what the fight was about. Come on, man, y'all tripping. The dumbest part about Google is it doesn't go back in history. It bombards you. I even put in the year. I put in 2006. Trump, Democrat. Let me see that. Yeah, see, it doesn't even go back and tell you that, but he did that. What up, Alpha? Yeah, I'm gonna have to start using DuckDuckGo. Yeah, I'm similar that way too, Red Fox. So I have to judge things based off of the information that I have. What information do you have that makes you feel the way you feel as far as presidency goes? Like, we don't vote for presidents based off of how we personally feel about them because we don't personally know them. See, you'd rather vote for a Biden, right? Who has historically shown in his political stance that he is all kind of wrongs. Like, Biden created laws. He participated in laws that still to this day affect the black community. But you're okay with that. So you vote for him because he's a Democrat. Stop. You can't eat that, Dwight. You don't know where people on here come from. True story. True story. My bad, Letitia. True story. But when we talk about the lesser of two evils, Donald Trump is by far the lesser of two evils. Even with this January 6th event, it compares nothing to what Kamala and what Biden have done. Right, but what you have to respect, right, Lene, is that we have a sheep in the office trying to battle wolves in Japan and China and Russia. Before, we had a wolf fighting wolves. Right now, we don't have that. And we have somebody who is a career politician versus a you or me taking office. Donald Trump is a you or me taking office using logic, saying that don't make sense. Let me see if it makes sense. Let me tell everybody, hey, y'all, what y'all think about this? Hey, y'all, what y'all think about this? I'm going to tweet it. What y'all think about this? And then when people say, hey, he's saying too much, they say, all right, we'll cut off his ability to tweet. Come on, man. Have anyone seen a president get attacked like this ever in the history? Nixon didn't even go through these kind of problems. Come on, man. I'm just saying. What up, Jira? When the heat is on the way it's on him right now, y'all have to understand it's way bigger than this. Y'all know that? I always say this, like, I always be like, yo, for something this dramatic to be going on, something else must be really happening. You know what I mean? Biden has handlers. Yeah, absolutely. We know Biden isn't capable, but y'all put that old, y'all put him in play. I would have rather kept. We would not be in this condition had we kept the same presidency. That's all I'm saying. I would have loved to seen the outcome. I would have loved to seen how COVID would have been stomped out. I would have loved to have seen that. Because he is. Like, he is. He is ridiculous. No, we haven't because it's an old school boys club. It's an old, you know what I'm saying? You can't put somebody young in there because they're going to have new ideas. They put him in to save his son's BS. That's right. They don't want to talk about that, Trini. They still don't want to talk about Hunter, but we can't dive into that. That's such a lengthy conversation. But man, the logic behind it. Ms. Michelle, did you just get, girl, let me stop. I see you. Ms. Michelle. I see you. Y'all give Ms. Michelle a round of applause. She just became a subscriber today, y'all. Hey. Yep. Letitia said her husband's on the same train. Listen, I'm sorry, but I am advocating for a Trump presidency. And if y'all don't understand why, then you're not paying attention to the current presidency. I'm sorry. And that's disturbing. Welcome to the club, Mr. Michelle. Hey. Listen, I need y'all to understand that, right? I need y'all to really recognize that we're in the condition that we're in because we've allowed it. We knew what was going on. We knew what was going on, man. We knew that we put two bad people in position. Let me tell you how desperate and bad this situation got. Trump was the big dog that was sitting in the seat, handling things and keeping everybody at bay. You know how they say, it's funny how y'all don't understand how these sayings work, because people was clowning Trump for being close to Russia. But aren't we all from the school of keep your friends close but your enemies closer? Isn't that where we come from? I am. Keep your friends close but your enemies closer so you can watch and see what they're doing so you can see how you can counteract. But let's go a little bit back. So I need you all to go back and watch the presidential debate between the Democratic presidential debate. Please go back and watch all the truth bombs Kamala dropped, and then listen to all the truth bombs that a healthier Biden dropped. For you all to ignore the way they communicated at one another, you all seem to think that those things went away. You all seem to think that the truth that they were saying about one another were lies, apparently. Kamala cut a new butthole into Biden during those debates with all truths that he could not come back and answer for. They don't like each other. What up, Shannon? They still don't like each other. But we don't let that permeate within us. We don't look at that. None of those people who voted for Biden paid attention to the debate. They just said, hey, man, Biden was vice president and he's been a career politician. And then we got Kamala, who's a beautiful black woman who has made some strides in the Senate. This works out perfect. Y'all do remember she wanted to be the first president, right? Can you imagine the conversation they had with her to say, take a back seat? You'll be president one day, maybe. What is the conversation they had to tell her? Yep. Exactly, Lene. But if it's like we're dumb as dirt. Like when I tell y'all, it makes me feel like we're dumb as I don't know what, or at least they think we are. The fact that we saw that debate, we should have said we ain't voting for none of you. Instead, we didn't even choose the best of the worst. We chose the worst of the worst. I don't even know what that means, you know what I'm saying, in retrospect. Like, I don't even know how to feel about that, like, period. But anyway, I digress. Please don't talk to me about voting for Biden if you have not watched the Kamala and Biden debate. If you have not watched the Kamala and Biden debate, please. Please. And I wish we could have got around to the conversation. I might do a two broadcast day today, because we definitely got to have this conversation about Kanye. That ain't happening, Red. That ain't happening. I've had one regret, and that was the fact that I did do that in the past one. But no more of that. And I'm advocating for everyone to stand in that position. She is all fraud. I know, right? It's all good, Red. I see you. I really wish people would have that conversation. I really wish people would have that conversation. I really wish people would have that conversation about this presidency. And it's coming up quick, y'all. We got one more year. And I will be advocating. I'm sorry. Because I can't have another 4 years like the ones we just had. None of you are proud of leadership right now, or should be. Everything Trump said would happen under this leadership has happened. Is he a prophet? No. But what he knows is how the system works now that he's been a part of it. He said gas prices are going to go through the roof. Oh, my gosh. I've never seen gas prices $8, $9 before. But every presidency does that. I want y'all to understand. Look, every presidency, does the gas hike thing. Every presidency does some kind of fight or war. War equals income. So Ukraine was ours. But this was the first time that they really exploited this, exploited the American people with this vaccine protocol. I know, Red. They're trying to make that happen. They're trying to listen. That's why I don't understand why people's antennas ain't up. Like, y'all are acting like this is a regular occurrence with the presidency. Like, y'all are acting like this normally happens, and I don't understand why nobody's looking at it like, yo, this is crazy. I don't understand. Yeah, I don't understand. But what we're witnessing now, in a future conversation, is that they're trying to hang Kanye West out to dry. And for those of you who don't understand the importance of this, let me enlighten you before I get off here. Kanye West taking a stance against the establishment is super important. We've seen it done in the past with other iconic entertainers like Prince and with Michael Jackson. And we've seen how those things ended up. But the industry at large is similar to the government. They both take a page out of each other's book in saying no one will come against us. If you try to come against us, we will crush you. We will shut you down, no matter how valid your point is. Kanye West's points are very valid, and they've tried to switch the narrative similar to what they did with Kaepernick. Remember, Kaepernick was trying to say, hey, the police brutality is the reason why I'm taking a knee. And what did they decide to do? They derailed it and said, no, it's you standing against our veterans and our government is the reason why you're taking a knee. You're disrespecting the flag. Please do not be detracted. That's exactly what they're doing with Kanye West, saying that he's making y'all know the word, anti-Semitic comments. He can't make anti-Semitic comments when he is of the community. He's Jewish. If you're Jewish, you can make Jewish jokes all you want. If you're black, you can make black jokes all you want. And it's not, what am I, anti-black if I do that? Nah. So now they've decided to, quote unquote, make an example. Now, the only way this doesn't work is if we stand as a community of people, as a culture of people. Problem is, they did the same thing to Kanye that they did to Trump. They tried to make him seem crazy enough that you would not consider putting yourself in harm's way, that you would not sacrifice your peace to get ultimate peace. And I'm watching it unfold. I'm hoping y'all are watching this as well. They've changed the narrative of what his conversation was. I'm missing the conversation between you guys. Help me understand where y'all are going with this. Let me. I need to add power, because if not, this live is gonna go dead. Let me add power quick. Oh, let me add power. Add power to the live. People see things face value and not seeing the bigger picture. I'm gonna swap that out. All right, the volume and the voice is gonna.
Have to.
All right, so okay, so I'm back. I don't know what my battery went out. I had just plugged it up. Right when I plugged it up, the stupid thing decided to die on me. People see things at face value and not seeing the bigger picture. No confrontation here, just saying the words. All right, so I don't know if I'm back or not. So y'all got to text something. Let me know if y'all see me. Yeah. No, the war is a front in itself. Of course, we all know that. Like, it's always a watch what's going on in my right hand, so you don't see what's going on in my left. So you have to look at what's being run through. Remember how I told y'all things are layered? That's exactly what we're talking about, is that it's a layered situation. So that's all we're really talking about at this point, is that it's being layered. It's a layered conversation between a layered situation with what's going on in Ukraine, then Russia and China doing what they're doing, the moves that they're making. If you think Russia invading Ukraine is for that purpose alone, there's so many other different, like we never, it's a layered. It's layered, that's all. You got to know that. Like, if you don't know anything else, just know that there's more. There's always going to be more to the story than meets the eye. Purposely. So, yeah, I just wanted to segue into that conversation for the Kanye West conversation. I want to do an actual live on that, because if not, he's going to get railroaded. They're already trying to change the conversation from into an anti-Semitic stance that everyone's jumping on the train for, when that's not what he said. And he actually, no one is highlighting the fact that he said he admired the Jewish community and those who are practicing the way that they practice, that he wished the black community would recognize their power and that they're also members of this Jewish community and start acting and moving accordingly. But again, media takes what it wants to take and runs with it in order to create the narrative that they want to. And they have the microphone. He doesn't have the microphone that way. They're removing his ability to play fair. And that's what and that's what they do. They're taking the tool that he used to create the conversation to take away the conversation. They don't want to hear Kanye West say anything else because he's exposing the truth. If Kanye West was lying, they'll let a fool talk all day until they understand that, oh my God, people are listening to him. Oh my God, Kanye West is making a difference now. People are paying attention to what he's saying. Prior to that, they didn't care. They didn't care when Kanye West was, being said he was crazy, and they didn't care when he was having all this peak conversation. Yep. Exactly. That was what the conversation was, Trini. And if you knew your birthright, would you do something different? That's the real question. If you knew who you were, would you stand in your truth? We're going to have this conversation a little bit later. I need to rest. I can feel it coming down, like I just need to rest or whatnot. Not feeling 1,000%. Want to shout out everybody. I want to shout out Ms. Michelle for becoming a subscriber today. For any of you guys who have supported with any live goals or super chats or cash apps, any of those, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Let's hit that, get the likes up to 10,000 before, you know what I'm saying? It's at 9.8. Of course, the shares went away. I've been wearing the glasses because my eyes, for some reason, are sensitive, more sensitive than before. And I'm like, yo, is it being surrounded by these additional phones? Remember, I added another phone to the mix so I could broadcast on Instagram as well. And then also my, I was fine before, but we'll figure it out. No, Red, I haven't. I'm not able to for about a week. You know what I'm saying? So for about a week, I'll be super chilling. I'm just drinking a lot of water nowadays because of my surgery. So with that in mind, y'all, I will chop it up with y'all a little bit later. I definitely want to come back and have this Kanye conversation. If I do, I probably rest for about an hour or so and come back after lunch or whatnot. I don't have any. These are as good as I got. These have been working out pretty good today. So, I'm going to try to do exactly that, Red. No, matter of fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to feel better. All right. I appreciate y'all. This is not goodbye. This is to be continued. I'll holler at y'all in a little bit. And we're going to get to that, man. I really want you to break down this Kanye West thing, or else we're going to see history repeat itself, and it's not good. Like, history repeating itself means we haven't learned anything, and I hate that for us. All right, y'all. Till later.